Katie. Welcome to the podcast. My heart is so full of joy to just be sitting here with you after the wonderful meditation that you just led. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. So before we just chat about what we love, what we do, who we are, I just want to take a moment again to acknowledge your life, the work you do, who you are as a soul, because you're so powerful just by embodying your pure essence. You just created such an impact in my life, and I'm so incredibly honored to be a student of yours. Thank you. I also want to start our conversation precisely about that because you returned me to the art of being grateful for just being instead of performing. You've reminded me of the importance of contemplating, which is something that I learned or that I reconnected with throughout our dance therapy sessions. I feel I'm always busy in my external world. I tend to be so in my mind as well. Yes, you help me return to contemplation, and I would like to talk about that because I don't know if a lot of people know what contemplation really is. How is it different from thinking maybe or reflecting? What do you think? I would like to hear your insights. I know what you've taught me, but I would like to hear from you what contemplation means, and if it's something that you think that we were never taught or that we lost or we forgot how to do.
Hello, dear Coloma. I didn't have an opportunity to tell you, but you look so beautiful today.
Oh, thank you.
It's very comfortable to be in your space. And when you only came without even taking any sessions, I already felt that spaciousness in you and that beautiful presence. And it's so rare nowadays. With practices, you just deepen and deepen. It's overwhelming for me at some moments even to see those huge, unimaginary transformations which you are going through. For me, it's an honor to be that space for you to discover deeper layers of yourself. It just warms my heart that contemplation became a part of your reality now, because it's an amazing and such an important tool which we all have, but usually we don't use it.
I'd like to know from your own experience what shifts internally when you sit in silence with yourself.
To be honest, to look back, it was quite a journey, because the first time I sat in silence was during my first Vipassana retreat. At that time, I was romanticizing meditation, to be honest, like now looking back. The first discovery for me was how chatty my mind is. At first, I couldn't even admit that my mind is chattering so much, that it also has this quality of monkey mind. I was thinking like, oh, I'm different. I'm not like everybody else. No, it's not happening to me. No way. But then you come to this acceptance at some point, because you are stuck with your mind for so long. Like during the retreat, I was sitting for 10 hours a day without having any opportunity to distract myself. I couldn't even talk to people, to look into their eyes. Of course, I couldn't like go and have a coffee or a chocolate or just turn on Instagram, just to distract myself from whatever I was feeling, I was experiencing. When you push to this edge, you have no choice, like to sit with your mind and watch what's going on. And so many memories were arising, sorrows, painful emotions, painful sensations. But that's how you discover that.
It's in that stillness, which I would call a diamond, truly a diamond. It is inside this onion, and you, layer by layer, you take in all your fears, all your doubts, all your anxieties, everything off, just to find it. Usually an ordinary human being would never say that a diamond can be in the onion. It can be, I don't know, in a beautiful cave or under the ocean, somewhere on a cloud, yeah, but not in the onion. This is the beauty of it, and also an amazing metaphor, because it's like, this is the reality base. This is it. For different people, those layers are completely, different polarities. Some people come to meditation retreats or just start meditating, and straight away they feel bliss or, joy. And some go through the pain at first. So it really depends, and we all have our own journeys in that. For me, it was definitely through the pain, from my personal experience, and I think from a lot of people I've met and interacted with. We as human beings always need to be pushed till the edge, to start doing something, to really take actions, to change. It's always like, it's a good idea to change, to improve yourself, to start meditating, or get enlightenment, always get something, It's great as an idea, but until you don't see any other option, there is no way the human being really start doing something. For me, it was definitely through the place of such a pain that I couldn't see the light anymore. There was no other option for me. The whole universe, it just showed me the path, like synchronicities you were talking about, around me everywhere, leading me to this path. It wasn't easy. It was still painful. Even walking on this path, I still didn't see, is there a light actually at the end? It felt like I was suffering even more.
That's where we start. The more time we have on this earth to savor the journey, that is to accept. I feel that a lot of people confuse comfort with happiness, whereas I feel it's kind of quite the opposite. When you keep choosing discomfort over what's easy, you get closer to this truth that you were talking about, and the more you taste your own truth, which is what's left, as I was saying, when there is no roles, no expectations, no attachments, no ideas, the essence of you. When you meet that essence, when you are okay with that essence, when you accept it and embrace it fully, that's how happiness tastes like. That's what acceptance is. I don't think that happiness is something, again, that we attain. It's the process of learning to enjoy the process, and my process is going to be different than yours, and yours is going to be different than anybody else's. And that's also the beauty of it. How our uniqueness is different for everybody is how we can add different flavors, different textures to the people that we surround ourselves by. And from this space, when we fully accept ourselves and let go and surrender of all the ideas, visions, what we think we want to, from this space, we can genuinely give without overthinking, without mistrusting. And then is when we together co-create magic, when we can elevate each other. You receive without attachments, without feeling that you owe anything to anybody. That's where the beauty of discontentment people see you operating from is. and you emanate that, which I value, and it reminds me of my own truth, of coming back to that state, because it's not something that we achieve one day. Oh, as you were saying, I have it all figured out. I accept myself. So tomorrow, I don't need to put intentional effort into doing that. No, it's a devotion to the self. It's a devotion to life. It's a devotion to essence, to universe, to presence. That's all it is.
Coloma, you are such a miracle. There is no because, it's just you are a miracle. But there is a proof. You've never done Vipassana retreat and you have little information about that. But you are such an embodiment of someone who actually is practicing Vipassana. Everything you are saying about your experience, about the way you see the world, it's all in the core concepts of Vipassana, about embodying. Vipassana, from Pali language, from the language of the Buddha, it's see things as they are. It sounds really easy and straightforward, but it's not. Actually, Vipassana meditation, there are different layers, of course, different steps, but the original form is the scan of the body from either the crown of your head to your tippy toes, or from your tippy toes to the crown of your head. What you actually do, you observe your sensations and you stay absolutely okay with that, whatever they are. Pleasant, unpleasant, you get the idea of impermanence. You know that they always come and go. And as you said, only when you can feel and experience that in your own body, then you start seeing it in the outside world. First of all, the easiest way to perceive that, to see that, is in nature. See the seasons changing. You see the day and night change. It's raining and then it's sunny again. But in the moment when you are not aware of this concept, it feels like it's forever. You are driving on your motorbike and it's pouring rain. It's endless, because you're cold, you're wet, or like you're uncomfortable, right? If you're a Vipassana meditator, you experientially know that it will pass. And when you have this knowing, that door to actually feel joy is wide open. You enjoy being under this rain because it will end. Everything ends, everything comes and goes, and even our lives here, it has the beginning and it has the end. Every birth has death. Everything in our life is in a constant flow, is in a constant change. And this is one of the concepts of Vipassana, impermanence, or anicca in Pali language. Everything comes and goes. Just observe, experience. I see that everything you got, and you have a lot of wisdom, you got from experience. And that's what the Buddha taught. Don't trust me. Don't even listen to me. Go and observe and experience and explore and find your own truth. And if you find it, wonderful, live it. If you don't, okay, live another way. You're an embodiment that there is no need to go for a Vipassana retreat, but you need to experience it in some other form. I wouldn't say that a retreat is like the straightforward path or an easy path. No, some people go for tens, hundreds retreats. They never get it. You never know. Like, we all have our own experiences, and there are people who've never done that, but they cultivated this wisdom somehow. I would really love to know how you got to that point.
It's a big question. I feel that I got to a point a little like Buddha in Spain, my hometown, that I had everything, the apartment, the successful job, partner, everything, but there was something missing. I was like, that's not it. I believe that the first part of our lives is built upon survival, upon conditioning, and there's a second part of our life where we come into alignment. Some people never do, some people do very early, some people do later in life. But I feel that there for me, that moment when I reached everything that I could have possibly, all these outcomes or these expectations that I had for myself, I was there and I realized that's not it, this sentence, that's not it. And that's when I dropped everything and I came to Bali. And that was 10 years ago. I left everything to study yoga. I did the yoga teacher training and then I got into an accident and I was told I would never be able to walk again. That's when I learned what yoga truly is. This union, this state of acceptance of I'm not gonna attach, I'm not gonna try to prove, to push, to perform. I'm just gonna be. I was with my condition without trying to even change it. I'm not gonna do rehab. No. This is the opportunity. It felt like a spiritual, also that it happened in Bali. It's like meaningful, at least for me. This island has a specific, there's magic in this island. When I was in the hospital for 3 months, it's when I started to meditate, really, when I started to listen. I thought I was meditating before then, but I also realized that that was not really what meditation was. I was meditating to reach, to go somewhere, whereas at the hospital, there was nowhere I could go. Similar to your story, I cannot physically move. The pain of not being able to move is not gonna go away. The only thing I can do is to change my relationship to the reality, to what is. So this state of acceptance that I practice open up a different path for me, the path into more living in alignment rather than how I was living. From this moment, I flew to the United States because I contacted someone there. I flew there, still not being able to move my body. I eventually forgot. Forgot meaning I learned to live with what it was, to the point, I was like, when I'm talking to you and I'm so immersed in the conversation, I forget that I have a nose in a way. I'm not thinking, oh, I have a nose, unless I practice the art of contemplation and I see it and I admire what is to be alive, what is to be human, what is to have a soul, right? But in general, when I'm immersed in something so deeply and present, maybe I do see your nose. I don't particularly think about mine. So when I stop thinking about my condition, beating myself up for it or regretting or having thoughts about it, attaching stories about it, I healed. And not only physically, like from one day to another, literally, I could walk. And now I do all sorts of things with my leg. Also, I healed spiritually and emotionally. All of that had to happen also for me to experience and incorporate that into the work I do with the people I help. But I would say that from then, the journey only started when I realized, when you said a miracle, that can be considered a miracle. Nobody would think that, not even the doctors. I had let go. When I experienced that, I started wanting to go deeper and deeper, and in Los Angeles, I was completely alone. It's very different than a lot of places in the world. Every environment affects our nervous system, affects our inner ecosystem, so where our surroundings affects us, we're on constant exchange with the energy around us. I was completely alone at some point for circumstances that I went through there. I decided to not distract, to sit the same way I had sat when I had my foot broken. And so every time that life has given me the chance, that's been a choice. I try to practice it daily. Every day is a chance for us to sit with ourselves, but that there are moments in life maybe that big transitions or things happen. There's losses, there's things happen in life The more you cultivate this relationship with your own pain, the less you suffer, the more you move with ease through life, the more you realize again that everything is an illusion. We create our own suffering. Once you have experienced that, the only thing that, at least for me, that I want is what you were saying, that more people experience that. How beautiful if we all could end our own suffering. There's inevitable pain. You know, you fall, you will experience physical pain. There are wars, there's things happening that inevitably bring us pain. But what do we do with it? And not do, actually. How do we be with it? It's the key to our transformation, to our truth, and I feel to untapping our potential. When you are so okay with something as difficult, that we learned that was difficult as to be with pain, you're invincible in a way. You just be. And so you're just a space, empty, and at the same time full. It's difficult to explain, right? This emptiness of, I'm not the roles, I'm not even my pain, I'm not my trauma. I'm also not going to attach to what brings me pleasure, but it's what is. And this inherently brings such fullness. It's a paradox, but that you only want to share that. You just want to share the bliss that exists in this space. The more you practice that, the more you realize how important it is. It is our nature. That's the thing. It's our nature. Everything else we make up in our minds. And something as simple as that, we forget. We forget how to live, how to be in community, how to genuinely help each other. We're so fragmented within ourselves. I don't want pain. I don't like the part of me that gets jealous or that judges. Instead of saying, wait a second, what does that say? What's this expression of me? Where does this come from? Let's get close. Let's build this intimacy within myself, so then I also can come with an open heart to another human and build this deep intimacy, this raw connection, in which, again, there's nothing else. There's nothing other than beings being in love. I'm talking a lot. I could keep talking. You inspire me.
Please. And you know, listening to your story, it's beautiful. What a transformation, really. Listening to you, I'm like, this 10 days retreat, it's nothing in comparison what you've been through. And it explains a lot. And again, it's like you were pushed to the edge, and your soul was calling, was looking for answers, and you started where you were. Like now looking back, you see it wasn't a real meditation, but that's what you've had at that moment, and you used it because this is the only moment we have. And if we knew, we would be different. But we didn't have those tools. You had something and you used that, and you kept on searching, you kept on going, exploring, and feeling all those sort of things, you know, jealousy, anger, I don't know, hatred, grief, sorrow, you know, self-pity. But yeah, the answer is just to become friends with that at some moment. Again, it sounds so easy, but it's easier said than done. But when it's done,
I feel, Katie, every time I talk to you, my heart feels warmer and warmer. I learn so much just by being around you, in your presence. Before we just finish our conversation. I just want to say thank you again. Like if I don't say it 10 times a day to you, I'm going to say it again. Thank you for everything you are, for inspiring me by being your purest, most truest essence. When I look at you, I see myself. I am reminded of my own light, of my own truth, of my own power, and that there's nothing like that. So thank you so much.
It's the deepest, the biggest pleasure, Coloma. As you are not tired of saying thank you, I won't be tired of saying that we are all mirrors. We are all just reflections, and what you see in me, there is in you, and even tens, hundreds, thousands times more than what you see in me. Thank you for acknowledging, for appreciating. It doesn't cost anything materially, but it costs a fortune. Thank you for being you. Thank you for reminding me of being me as well. It's always both sides. It's never one side. Can't be grateful enough for everything you are teaching me when we get together. It's precious, all these moments. And just looking into your eyes, I see the whole universe. You are the universe. Thank you, Coloma. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I enjoyed every single bit of our conversation, in spite of all the challenges we've been through during the process. I think it made it even more special, more beautiful, more aligned with actually what we were talking about. So it's like life is happening, and we are here in the moment dealing with what's coming.
And it's fun.
It is fun, exactly. So thank you for this fun morning
Thank you.
and really heartwarming, fulfilling time together.